So welcome to the latest edition of Meet the Team. We're here with Joey, Thornhill's production manager. So let's just get into it by telling us a bit about your role and how long you've been with the company.
Thank you. So my role is production manager. The title is manager of manufacturing. I've been with the company it'll be about 6 years in September. Which is pretty crazy to say. My primary role is making sure that our in-house production is functioning smoothly, dealing with any problems that come up in that particular in that area, and then also just generally assisting with as the title suggests, any sort of manufacturing related issues or concerns or process improvements that come up.
So yeah, you're coming up on the 6th year anniversary.
We're getting there.
Yeah, nice. So what about Thornhill captured your interest when you first were looking at joining the company?
What initially captured my interest was that it was just cool. I mean, it was just, I was very new to the biomedical industry, and just seeing something, this, like what's behind me, like this complicated and this impressive, and being put together and tested by such a small but extremely diligent and efficient, knowledgeable team was a completely new thing for me.
So it seems like you've been talking about it a little bit, but since you started working here and started working with the team, what have you found to be unique or special about working here?
I would say the biggest thing that is unique about Thornhill is the people. The product, obviously, all of our products are very unique, but I think that stems from just the really varied interests and knowledge bases of everyone who has worked here and who's currently working here, where the attitude towards invention, reinvention, improvement, and also just personal interaction, there's always been as I believe, and I think this is borne out by our all of our policies, there's always been a real emphasis on giving people space to do what they need to do, not constantly looking over anyone's shoulder, as corporate as we've become, because just in the past 2 or 3 years we've expanded so much. There is still this really beautiful emphasis on letting people balance their time and letting people balance their tasks and their day-to-day with their own lives. And I think that really inspires people to put a lot of energy, a lot of thought into what they're doing. And that's, honestly, the biggest thing, is just giving people that chance to actually have the energy to be inspired.
So tell us a little bit about the most significant project you've handled while you've been here and what it's meant to you.
Probably since I started, the largest, sort of most significant thing I've worked on is the SLC. Both at the beginning, when it was me and our former production manager Tyler Lucock just sitting in the back of the old place on Dundas building batteries or prototype systems and things like that, to most recently, I think the biggest, most intense thing, and probably goes without saying, was just the last 2 years of working with the Federal Health Agency to produce a pretty startling amount of Amidst SLCs. And during that time, myself and several others were pretty perpetually up at Linamar in Guelph. And that was on the part of every member of the team, that was a pretty cyclopean effort.
So in preparation for this, I actually went to some of your team members and asked them to write a question for you. And we got one here that I thought was really great. So in your opinion, what makes a great manager?
In my opinion, what makes a great manager is listening to your employees, listening to your direct reports, trying to just listening, talking, communication. I mean, it's a critical thing. I should note that I've only been in a management position for a few months now, and it's prior to that I was a supervisor, but now it's still a bit of a learning curve. But I would say the biggest thing is listening to what people are saying, what people need, trying to give them that. What else makes a good manager? I mean, honestly, it's like, in my opinion, and as a new manager, this may sound a little rose-colored glasses, but I really feel like it's a little bit of compassion. Like, in any company, there is a need to meet deadlines and produce at a expected rate and get it done. There is a need to really nose to the grindstone. But when that isn't happening, I find that the more sort of understanding you can have of what your coworkers, what your employees are looking for, the better they perform when you have those moments where, like, okay, we've just got to go full tilt. Really, I think just communication, I think, is the biggest thing.
Okay, so then one last question to end it off here, a little bit of a fun one. What's something most people don't know about you?
I think a lot of people do know this, but I mean, prior to working at Thornhill, I was a cook for several years. That's not that thrilling.
That's pretty interesting, though. What's your favorite dish, or what do you like to cook the most?
Honestly, just like grilled stuff, like fish, steaks, vegetables, anything that's just the simplicity of putting something on a barbecue or a flat top or even just a cast iron frying pan, like simple seasoning and that kind of thing. That's always been the thing that I enjoy doing the most. But yeah, I was a cook for, I guess, off and on for maybe 3 or 4 years, in between manufacturing jobs.
Just want to thank you. So, those are all the questions we have. You gave some great insight into your role and gave some great insight into what this company is all about. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you very much for having me.